I know why you're here. You've been scrolling for hours, haven't you? Not looking for entertainment, looking for the thing. The video, the message, the words that finally make it all make sense. You've watched dozens, maybe hundreds of videos like this one. Some of them helped. Some of them gave you that surge, that feeling like, yes, this is it. This time I get it. And then 3 days later, you're back here, searching again. Because the feeling faded. Because the clarity blurred. Because whatever clicked in that moment somehow unclicked when you weren't looking. And now you're wondering if maybe this video will be different. If maybe this is the one that actually sticks. And here's what I need you to understand. This might be the last video you'll ever need to watch. Not because I have some secret nobody else has, but because you finally reached the point where you're ready to hear what you've been hearing all along. You know what the real problem is? It's not that you haven't found the answer. It's that you found it 17 videos ago. Maybe it was 3 months ago. Maybe it was last year. But somewhere in all that content you've consumed, someone said something that landed. You felt it. You knew it was true. And then you kept watching. You kept searching. Not because you needed more information, but because sitting with what you already learned felt too hard, too quiet, too uncertain. So you went looking for a better version, a clearer explanation, a more perfect articulation of the thing you already understood. And every time you do that, every time you jump to the next video instead of living the last one, you're not learning. You're avoiding. You're turning transformation into entertainment. You're collecting insights like trophies instead of building a life with them. Let me tell you about someone I know. They're obsessed with personal growth. Read every book, watch every video, follow every teacher. And one day, they came across a video that genuinely changed them. The message hit so deep they couldn't think about anything else for days. It rewired something fundamental. They took notes. They saved it. They thought about it constantly. And then, about 2 weeks later, they watched it again, hoping to feel that same surge, that same clarity, but it didn't hit the same way. The words were identical, but something was missing. So they watched it again and again, searching for that initial feeling, trying to recreate the moment. And with each viewing, the message lost more power. Not because the content changed, but because they were trying to consume transformation instead of embodying it. They were trying to feel the click over and over instead of walking through the door it opened. And eventually, that video that could have changed their entire trajectory became just another thing they watched. Just another piece of content they moved past. Because they never gave themselves permission to stop searching and start building. That's what's happening to you right now. You're stuck in the loop. The endless consumption loop where you're always one video away from figuring it out. Always one more insight away from finally becoming who you want to be. But here's the truth. You're not one video away. You're one decision away. The decision to stop consuming and start embodying. To stop collecting wisdom and start living it. To stop searching for better answers and start trusting the ones you already have. Because transformation doesn't happen in the watching. It happens in the space between videos, in the quiet moments when you're alone with what you learned. And you have to decide if you're actually going to let it change you. That's where the real work is. And you've been running from it. I can see it. You've got this playlist of saved videos, don't you? Videos that hit you. Videos you told yourself you'd come back to. Videos that were supposed to change everything, but you never went back. You just kept adding more, because going back would mean admitting that maybe you didn't need more information. Maybe you just needed to use what you already had. And that's terrifying. Because as long as you're still searching, you can tell yourself you're working on it. You can tell yourself you're growing. But the moment you stop searching and start building, you're accountable. There's no more excuses. No more. I just need to understand this one more thing. It's just you and the gap between who you are and who you know you could be. And that gap can only be closed one way: through action, through embodiment, through actually living differently instead of just learning more about how to live differently. So let me ask you something. What are you avoiding right now? What decision have you been postponing while you search for more clarity? What change have you been delaying while you wait for more confirmation? Because I promise you, the answer you're looking for isn't in the next video. It's in the space where you stop watching and start doing. It's in the discomfort of sitting with what you already know and choosing to honor it. It's in the courage to say, I've learned enough. Now I need to live it. And that choice, that shift from consumption to embodiment, that's the only transformation that matters. Everything else is just information, just noise, just another way to avoid the real work. Here's what nobody tells you about videos like this one. They're not supposed to give you new information. They're supposed to remind you of what you already know, but keep forgetting. They're supposed to give you permission to finally trust yourself, to stop outsourcing your knowing to other people, and to recognize that the reason you're still searching is because you don't trust that what you've already learned is enough. But it is. It's always been enough. You've always been enough. You just convinced yourself you needed one more thing, one more video, one more breakthrough, one more moment of clarity before you could finally start becoming. But you don't. You're ready now. You've been ready. You're just scared to stop searching because searching feels productive. It feels like growth. But real growth is quiet. Real growth is slow. Real growth happens when you close the laptop and sit with the discomfort of not knowing everything and choosing to move anyway. Now, if this is hitting different, if you're recognizing that you've been stuck in consumption instead of embodiment, I need you to do something. Go to the comments right now and type 5 words. I already know the answer. That's it. No explanation. Just those 5 words. Because when you declare it publicly, when you admit that the searching phase is over and the building phase is beginning, something shifts. It stops being theory and becomes commitment. Your nervous system registers it. You've closed the loop. You've ended the search. And now, the only thing left is to live what you already know. And if you know someone trapped in the endless consumption cycle, someone who keeps watching but never changing, share this with them. Ask them to declare it too. I already know the answer. Because sometimes we need permission to stop learning and start living. If this resonated, subscribe so we can keep walking this path together. And if Super Thanks feels right, every bit helps me create content that actually matters instead of just fill space. But real talk, you being here, present, listening, I never take that for granted. Thank you. The truth is, you didn't need this video. You needed permission to trust what you learned before you clicked on it. You needed someone to tell you it's okay to stop searching. that you're not going to miss some crucial piece of information if you finally close the loop and start building. That the transformation you're waiting for doesn't come from one more insight. It comes from honoring the insights you've already received. From taking what clicked and actually letting it change how you move through the world. That's what this moment is. Not another lesson. A permission slip. Permission to finally believe that you know enough, that you've learned enough, that you are enough, and that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your willingness to stop consuming other people's wisdom and start trusting your own. You're going to leave this video in a minute, and you're going to feel that familiar pull, the urge to click on another one, to keep searching, to find something that articulates it just a little better, something that makes you feel that surge one more time. But this time, I want you to notice that urge, and I want you to resist it. Not because there's nothing valuable in the next video, but because you've already found what you're looking for. You've already heard what you needed to hear. The only question now is whether you're finally ready to stop hearing and start being. Whether you're ready to close the door on the searching phase and walk into the building phase. Whether you're brave enough to trust that you already know the answer. And here's what happens when you finally make that choice. When you stop consuming and start embodying. When you close the loop and begin building. You don't suddenly have it all figured out. You don't magically become the perfected version of yourself. But you stop feeling like you're stuck. Well, you stop feeling like you're waiting for permission. You stop feeling like there's some missing piece you haven't found yet. Because you realize the piece was never missing. It was just waiting for you to finally use it. And the moment you start using what you know, instead of searching for what you don't, everything shifts. Not dramatically, not with fireworks, just quietly, just powerfully, just completely. So this is where we part ways. Not forever, but for now. Because this video did what it came to do. It gave you permission to stop, to trust, to build. And now it's done. The circuit is complete. The loop has closed. You don't need another video. You don't need another message. You don't need another guru promising you the answer. You already have it. You've had it. You're just finally ready to live it. This wasn't the video that taught you something new. This was the video that reminded you of what you already knew, but kept avoiding. And now you can't avoid it anymore because you've named it. You've claimed it. You've declared that you already know the answer. And there's no going back from that. There's only forward. There's only building. There's only becoming. The search ends here, not because there's nothing left to learn, but because learning without doing is just procrastination with a prettier name. From here, you move differently. Not collecting, embodying, not watching, being, not searching, building. And this video, this message, this moment, it did exactly what it needed to do. It found you in the loop. And now, it sets you free.